Welcome to the Grawlix Podcast. Or no, welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Oh, man. I biffed that one kind of hard. Not that it matters. Like, calling it Grawlix Nights is like such an arbitrary, just random, like, yeah, this is a completely different show. Mm. I mean, it kind of is. Anyway, hey, everybody, what's going on? Exciting times.
Is that the finger?
The finger?
Oh, that finger. Okay.
This finger. Yeah, I'm just flipping off the screen. We're starting raw.
We're starting this nights.
We guaranteed clean language, not clean hands.
Yeah.
Verbal language. We're gonna sign language all kinds of filthies at you.
Yeah, you just wait until I bite my thumb at thee, sir.
All right, so yeah, we're going old school.
Yeah, that's right.
Shakespearean. He would know how.
I might even like bump my fists together. A little of that.
Don't even. Yeah. So we're just chilling tonight, as the title of the stream will tell you. We're just chilling. Not a lot of like. We're just gonna kind of. There's a few news stories I want to touch on.
Maybe.
And then we're just gonna do what we do, because we're better at that than talking about specific topics anyway. Sometimes.
He said the quiet part out loud.
That's what we do. That's what we do best.
That's right.
We say the quiet part out loud and we meander the loud part. Just
yeah.
Hey, so we have a hard stop tonight. So at some point, a bomb is going to go off in my headphones. It's going to be very startling, and I'm going to just murder the stream. I'm just going to end it. Is that how people say that? They murder the stream?
I think they say they kill it, but it's the same concept.
Well,
Murder just sounds a little more intense.
I'm going to manslaughter the stream.
Anymore, you don't even say that because of the stupid algorithm. So people are like, I unalived it or something.
That's right.
Like that.
That's right. Because we're
I
already.
hate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate that.
YouTube is already not going to show our video, but they're really not going to show it now.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely can't be putting this clip up on TikTok.
Oh boy, no way.
That's where I think that's where some of that started. Obviously, the censoring themselves for ad revenue and reach was a YouTube thing to begin with. But I hate that phrase. I hate that term.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's also like generally not good for people. Like
psychologically.
Psychologically to like replace it with something that people, I guess, just don't take as seriously. But at a certain point, it's like you're just using the same word to mean the same thing. Is the algorithm that dumb that it's not going to be like they're talking about death or whatever?
Eventually, they're going to just catch on and add that to the list. So,
and if they don't, then like, what are they doing? But it sounds so stupid. And there's a couple YouTube channels I'll watch sometimes, and they do it over there. I'm like, just stop it, grow up, and like. I don't know. Don't
you realize ChatGPT is going to start writing unalived?
Yeah. It's not going to understand the difference.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah. I prefer the people that just say what they need to say and then bleep it afterward.
Yeah, I'd rather a bleep. Honestly, like, just bleep it, man. Don't come up with cutesy language to get around it. Or another thing that really irritates me. This is what the show is now.
Who is this stream for?
And this, I blame Meta. Looking at you, Facebook.
Are you threatening me?
When people, that's a whole other thing. When people share memes that has a swear in it, but they censor it. They'll put a little swipe or a little dot or something over the swear word. And I know they do it not for people's delicate sensitivities, but because, the social networks and stuff, they scan that for text, pictures for text. Like, so it's the same difference as like if you're saying it in a video or whatever. And that irritates me so much. It's like, then don't share the meme.
Yeah.
Like if it's got a swear in there, if it's got an F-bomb, that in a visual, in a meme, just don't share the meme. Like if you're that concerned about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's still better than when they like white it out and then put another word on top of it that is like different
God.
font and
It's so
everything. And you're
lazy.
like, come
I
on.
hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not. I actually was kind of thinking about this a couple weeks ago, on jumping on Threads. And I see people whatever on Threads, and I'm sure Threads, like, even though they're still missing basic functionality, I'm sure their algorithm still has things that like will throttle down your stuff if you're using swears. And at first, I haven't been posting as much, but at first I was like, I'm just gonna be completely unfiltered.
Right.
Because my unfiltered generally, my internet unfiltered, I should say, it's a little different than maybe Angry Randy in his house for some reason is unfiltered. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Angry Randy in his house might get put on a list.
I know Angry Millie in the house would for sure.
but like on Twitter, and that's the thing. If it wants to be a Twitter, I'm gonna treat it like a Twitter. I'm not gonna censor myself on Twitter.
Right.
So that's, even though I know Meta is, they have their if the Threads auto moderation becomes anything like Facebook's, it's gonna be awful. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
anyway,
The
were we
irony
talking
about Threads too is it's like they built Threads backwards the way that every other social media was made. It's like they were like, you know, that part that we usually roll out later when we have a huge user base, the algorithm. We're gonna start with that.
Yeah.
And we'll add the normal stuff later, you know. Like usually, like TikTok, they were like, "Oh, okay, we'll give you all the things you like," and oh man, now we're so big, we have to like moderate or like filter or whatever, curate, you know, and use an algorithm because we can't show you everything anymore because it's just too many people. So that's the argument for the algorithm. But Threads, they were like, nah, you know how you guys like to direct message each other? It's even a thing, like DMing, and I'm going to slip into their DMs. Nah, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to give you the algorithm.
it was only the algorithm.
Yeah.
No follower feed. No like
Day one, algorithm. That's what you get.
It was bad too. It was a horrible algorithm.
Yeah, we
Real
should
bad.
stop wasting time on it since we're having a short episode. Because it's bad.
This is the show now. Welcome to Threads Talk.
It was a short thread.
Don't worry, it'll probably legitimately be done in a month. I don't know. They need to get on. They need to get on the web app, like the desktop and search. Like, it's insane that they still don't have that.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, you
They've
should
been
follow
out
me
for
there.
at least a month now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through because I was like feeling, I was complaining about it yesterday on there. It's become my regularly scheduled complaint about Threads on Threads. And I was
Yeah. That's
So-
what Threads is for, isn't it?
I'm on there every day. I want it to be the new Twitter. I don't know that it's going to be if they don't. But I was searching back through. I was like, how long? Like, what did I say like weeks ago? And I found one from 3 weeks ago that was like a retweet of Zuckerberg from like 3 weeks before that, saying lots of basic functionality coming. And the comment was something about, you know, if you told me like 3 weeks ago that I'd still be waiting on basic functionality, I probably wouldn't feel too good about it. And
Right.
that was 3 weeks ago, and I come across that again. I'm like, yep, still the same.
3 weeks later.
Well, he's busy training for his big fight, so, you know.
Right.
It was insane to launch it so bare bones. It's so crazy that they did that. And I think in the long run, it's a terrible idea. Like, they could have really slaughtered Twitter, but whatever. Twitter will do it on its own.
And Sky Blue's still not out. So, I don't know what the big hurry was.
Twitter's already gone, baby. It's not even Twitter anymore.
It's not
I
even
know.
Twitter.
I know. But people are still banking on it. It's like, are you watching that thing?
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I see. I you know what? You're right. Let's move on. Hey, so how are you two doing?
I'm okay.
I'm doing all right. It's I'm back to work. So, I am the most tired I've ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have like a holy cow weird stuff week. Like, so I'm 45, which is like the hump day of your 40s. And I like, was it like next month? September is like my half birthday. So this is the hump day of the hump day of 40s. Right?
Cool.
Wow.
And so I'm falling apart.
Are you?
Like I broke out in hives last week. Inexplicably. Like it started on my face and then it was head to toe. Like over the course of like 2 to 3 days, just out of nowhere, face starts getting like hivey, and then down my arms, and then down the rest of my body. And I'm just like, why am I breaking out in hives? What is going on here? And I'm like backtracking through all the things it could be. No idea what it was. I'm thinking it was stress. I don't even know why, because I've done this like 20 times going back to school. So I don't know why I would be so stressed out about it.
Yeah,
Maybe
but when did you... Oh, I'm sorry. I was just say...
Go ahead.
Melanie, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe it's your midlife freak out.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because I'm 45.
Yep.
In case
You're
you
in the
guys
hump.
didn't know. I'm in the hump day.
Did you switch schools this last year?
No, this is my third year.
Oh, this is
At
your
this
third
building.
year already?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Time really
Yeah,
flies.
I don't like being older.
It
older. I
just
had to fix
goes
it.
fast. And then like to throw in on all that nonsense. So first of all, I'm going back to school hives. So that if I wasn't stressed before, now I'm stressed. Like
Right.
I'm stressed out about
Right.
like, hey, no, it's not the monkeypox. I don't think. I don't even know that. You know? And then I'm like trying to get this whole sleep study thing. I don't know if I've said this on the stream or whatever, you know?
Oh,
But,
I can't remember if we talked about it on stream.
yeah,
or
we
not.
either talked about it off the stream or during the stream, but like, so if y'all don't know, I've been trying to get a sleep study done to see if I need a CPAP or what, right? And, I think I talked about it on the stream because I brought that hostage tape in and I'm like, this is our new sponsor. Speaking of which, folks, if you got the best sleep of your life, you just need to put a piece of tape over your mouth so that you can't breathe out of your mouth and you can only breathe out of your nose. Not sponsored by hostage tape.
I still don't think it's a great idea.
it's a crazy name. Like it definitely gets your attention. And it's good stuff. I will say that it goes right over your beard. No big deal. But I tried to do that, and so I'm trying to like. It's like. For people who aren't in Omaha, this doesn't make any sense at all. But it's like south of Industrial. It's south of L Street, and I'm coming in from Fremont, so that's not an easy place to get to. Anything south of L Street doesn't make sense if you've ever tried to drive that far south in Omaha. Like, there's nothing super direct, and you have to take the interstate almost to get anywhere,
Right.
at least on time. And so I can only pick it up between the hours of 1 and 5. Which is kind of okay. I can do that after work. That's fine. But they need it back between the hours of like 8 and noon are their operating hours. Or you can
What?
drop it off. Yeah. Or you can drop it off in their drop box, which is what I have to do. So when you do a sleep study, you have to have like 5 hours of sleep. It doesn't have to be continuous. It can be broken, but you have to have at least 5 hours where you're asleep. And so I did it the first time, and something went wrong. Either one of the sensors wasn't reading correctly, or I didn't sleep long enough, but it didn't work. So I had to do it again. So I have not been getting a lot of good sleep, if I ever sleep well.
Right.
So I had to do it again, and guess when they were able to book it for the second time? The night before the first day with kids. No one ever sleeps well the night before the kids
Right.
come back.
Right.
So, yeah.
No wonder you're busting out in hives.
Yeah, just busting out in hives. Well, this is after I've got the hives, you know? Like, the hives are all gone and whatnot, and I still have no clue why. And they really disappeared pretty quickly, and they weren't all that painful or itchy even. So it's really bizarre. It wasn't that big of a deal other than it was inconvenient and looked friggin' gross. So
They didn't. When I had done a sleep study, like, although I wouldn't want to have to run back and forth to Omaha, but I had to go sleep at the at the place,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hospital, and they put a
Yeah.
whole bunch of crap on me, and even then, like, I was kind of a night owl, so that's the worst. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, schedule me a sleep study starting at 8 a.m. and I'll be good. I'll come
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah, right.
My sister had a sleep study too, and she also went to the place and slept. But she said they kept waking her up, and I'm like, well, what's the freaking point of that?
Huh.
But yeah, they woke her
because
up
they had
several
to
times.
readjust the sensor or something, or what?
Right.
Partially, I think also hers is real bad. She was only getting like 10% oxygen, which is
Oh wow.
way low. So she has to have oxygen with hers. But yeah, I'm guessing that's why. Otherwise, I don't know why they kept waking her up. But she's like, I barely got any sleep. I'm like, well, you'd never do anyway. So what's the difference?
Right. Yeah, I'm hoping this one took. They haven't called me back on the second one. It seemed like the kit was kind of iffy the first time, and the second time the kit made a lot more sense and seemed to be doing what it was supposed to do. So here's hoping I got at least 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Hey, you know what doesn't?
I don't really sleep
go ahead.
on my back either, so like that, and that was the best way to do it without like moving around the sensor,
Right.
because you have to have like a chest sensor, like a finger sensor, and then you have the stuff that goes into your nose so they can read how much oxygen you're exhaling or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's another thing. When I did, they wanted me to sleep on my back, and it's like, man,
And so you
Don't
gotta
do
like
that.
tape it to your face so it doesn't like just come out.
I would.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Johnny?
hey, did you know StreamYard is the easiest way to create content right in your browser?
Yeah.
I did, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you guys do because we're using. But hey, you can multi-stream to your social media platforms, which we are also doing right now. Host a weekly show with special guests. We are doing that. We've had special guests, and I'd say we have special hosts. Create webinars. We're not really doing that. I don't know why suddenly this is a list. Are we doing this? Record podcasts with local recordings. We are doing that. Create videos and more. We do that and more. Okay, anyway. Yeah, StreamYard. Popular tool amongst live streamers, video creators, YouTubers, and podcasters. You should check
And
it out. You
editors.
can start for free. And editors. Man, I tell you what, as professional audio and video editors ourselves, at least two of us are, the local recordings are amazing. You have to. You can't be doing none of that other competitor brand recordings, crappy recordings, one audio track. It's not good.
No.
Local recordings is the way to go, and you can do that at StreamYard. StreamYard.com. Hey.
Hey.
I'm glad we got a viewer for our for our StreamYard chat.
For the ad read.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes.
You missed us talking about threads and getting old. It's a good show.
Yeah, I just went on for like a good 10 to 20 minutes about being old, didn't I?
By the way, I need to remind the viewers every so often that, again, this episode's on a timer, and when that timer goes, there's going to be a very sudden, startling sound in my headphones, and I'm going to end the stream automatically. Just kill it.
I want to do my amaze free before you do that, though. So
I'm going
maybe
to
I should do it early.
unalive the stream.
Yeah.
Because it's cool.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, I won't interrupt the science talk, of course.
Okay.
You can't stop science!
You can't kill the science.
can't, no.
You can't murder, unalive it.
They'll try, though.
They will.
You know what you can murder on alive?
What?
Linear television, a.k.a. normal TV, cable network, cable TV, and broadcast. You can unalive that all day long because it is...
Dying out.
It's nosediving. It is dying out, legitimately dying out. This was a story that I can't... Streaming has gotten annoying because they've adopted, whatever. It's streaming. And their bubbles burst and whatever. But You know, we've been doing this podcast specifically long enough to see the rise of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's going on over on Twitch? How are you doing? The rise of streaming, the fall of cable, which is what we always wanted,
Yes.
and now the fall of streaming at the same
We really have. Yeah, we've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we're 45.
Well,
You're 45, Grandpa. I'm only 40. I'm
Shut
only
up.
41.
Everybody likes Kevin Costner.
Hey, yeah, no kidding. That's the first indication. Is there a Kevin Costner cutout behind him? Yeah, probably 45 or up.
He's old. He's Field of Dreaming.
Yeah, so anyway, overall traditional TV usage fell in July. It fell below 50% for the first time ever. So, less than half of stuff being consumed is being consumed on traditional TV, which I believe would be cable and broadcast television.
mm-hmm.
Interestingly, where did this go? What do you got, Jesse? I see you angling.
What? I don't have anything that was made specifically for people of my age.
A trapper keeper.
Why?
That's a flippin' trapper keeper, guys.
That's. I love the design. That is. I
right?
instantly like that. I like it.
Uh-huh.
That's
what happened to
practically
Trapper Keepers?
is that vaporwave? What would you call that?
Maybe.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great.
Trapper keepers never left. We just stopped using them.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. If they're marketing them to us now, did they not leave?
They never left. Just they weren't as popular.
The Velcro.
Did you hear that sound? That was Velcro. That was high quality Velcro from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Mead folders that say Trapper Keeper on them.
I need me some Lisa Frank though.
I'm in
if I'm gonna
45
have a Trapper
heaven.
Keeper.
Lisa Frank.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah. That's
Not
what's
for
up.
me. That's girly stuff.
I don't care.
He needs a fighter jet.
I'm trying to remember what I had. I mean, I think it wasn't necessarily like, the one that I remember having the longest. It wasn't necessarily a branded thing, but it was some cool, very 90s design.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I had that design. That's why I bought it. I was like, you know what? I think I had that one.
Then it
To
gets
relive.
maybe I did this and other people, but then it gets like scuffed up or whatever, torn up a bit. Eventually, you make your own artwork on a piece of just white paper and slide it in the plastic that goes around it. Make your own outside.
Oh yeah.
I did paper bags from the grocery store, and then you fold them around it, and then decorate it. That's what I did with all my stuff.
Well, that's
Oh, yeah.
books. You do that with every textbook for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to pull up this chart.
Pull
We're
it
not
up.
old. Look at our Trapper Keeper. Now look at this pie chart. This is a fascinating show.
Who's this stream for?
I agree with that comment that initially offended me a little. Who is this stream for?
Show us the chart.
I'm trying to find... Okay, I'll just go to the window then.
This is from Nielsen also, right?
Yeah, the article
Oh,
specific...
the original ratings people.
Yeah, the article is from Yahoo Finance. Yahoo. They're still doing stuff over there. But the information's from Nielsen. But yeah, so...
Yo, who eats a piece of pie like that?
This is more interesting than when I looked the other day. They have like a pretty extensive breakdown. But yeah, so cable is
Where's
down
Quibi?
to 20. They're dead. They're dead.
They're like, we are Quibi and we don't know.
I was amazed to see cable's down 29.6%. Just regular old broadcast TV is less than, just barely, but less than 10% behind cable. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And then, what is other? I can't remember what they said other was.
Porn. No, I don't know. I'm just
Probably.
YouTube. Has YouTube got its own thing?
YouTube would be in here.
Oh yeah,
YouTube's
okay.
YouTube is a. That makes sense. YouTube is a huge chunk. That's more than
Yeah.
Netflix. Like that's.
I was to say the
largest chunk
one
of
thing
streaming.
that I did watch as far as like recent views was the Alex Winter documentary that just dropped called The YouTube Effect, and it was all about YouTube and how it's grown from what it was to what
Right.
it is now, which is insane.
Interesting.
And it's Bill.
Yeah, I was
there you
about to
go.
say. Yeah, is that on Netflix? Where'd you say that was?
I got it off of Vudu
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's literally brand new. Like
Brand new,
it just
gotcha.
dropped last week or whatever.
I have a comment kind of that goes along with this overall, especially because it came from the Nielsen ratings, because we've worked for them before, you know. They'll mail us stuff, and the very first time that we did it, you were only allowed to do things that you watched on TV. The streaming wasn't an option. And then the last time that we did it, it had like most of the thing was about which streaming services you use, and there was barely anything about regular TV channels. So just the survey itself, has changed dramatically in the last like 10, 15 years.
Do they still like put a box on your TV or whatever?
No.
No.
You just fill out a diary and mail it in, and they mail you cash, which is weird, but yeah.
Dear
I thought you weren't even supposed to do that. Like grandmas aren't even supposed to mail you cash.
Well, they do.
That was before they caught up to the modern day. That was before they were like, streaming, you don't count that. And actually, I think I don't know. We would stream a lot of like shows and stuff at that time. So
Yeah, we did.
okay, well there's that story. Cable is dying. Streaming's taking over. Writers and actors are upset because they don't make nearly as much with streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment industry, along with most other industries, is in a real good way right now.
Yeah. Why don't they AI make people to take over the being actors?
Wait, what was that? Why don't they make AI make people to take over being actors?
Yeah.
I think that's another one of the things they're striking about. They're like,
It is.
No, you can't scan my face and turn me into a robot.
Yeah. Oh, man, but their people, AI's people are getting really, really good. So
Yeah.
it probably won't be long.
We are talking about AI this episode. My new favorite thing to do since the new Stable Diffusion model is out, the Stable Diffusion XL, is to make screenshots or film stills for movies that don't exist. And I was doing
Oh yeah, you've done some cool ones.
Yeah, I was doing a bunch of Mad Max ones the other day, making like my own characters, original character. I found an interesting trick to getting somewhat consistent characters because the AI it'll just a different person every time, but you don't always want to just make pictures of Nicolas Cage, for example, or you do,
Or you do, yeah, or Kevin Costner.
The trick is to pick an actor that the AI knows well and can reproduce its face, and then gender and or race swap them, and you'll get somebody who looks different enough that they're not necessarily recognizable. In some cases, you got to play with it, but the face, because it knows I know what a Nicolas Cage looks like, and I know what a woman might look like as Nicolas Cage, and it'll give you a somewhat consistent face every time, so you can kind of get consistent characters that way.
So you've got zombie gender swapped Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I will say, from my experience, women to men are more difficult depending on how many pictures of the women there are, and the makeup or hairstyle. If they have a very specific, predominant, consistent hairstyle, or they I was trying to do Gina Davis, and she always has super thick red lipstick.
Right.
AI doesn't understand that the hair and the lipstick is not the face. It's just oh, that's Gina Davis. And so,
Right.
regardless you try to put that on a man, you're going to end up with a man with either super big lipstick or just lips and Gina Davis hair every time. So,
Oh man.
So there's tricks. There's tricks. You can like
Be
mesh
like Joan
faces together.
Rivers. So that I bet that one would be awful too.
Right. Anyway, that's been our AI talk.
Okay.
Doctor Who confirmed 4 new cast members.
Oh.
I've never heard of any of them, so there you go. I think 1 or 2 of them are going to be in the specials, and then 2 of them will be in season 14.
We're in 100 days territory, right?
Oh man,
We're less.
sub 100 days, and the end is nigh. The end of a crappy bout of Doctor Who TV. I hope.
Yeah.
I
hopefully.
seen a promotional. I think it might have been that post you shared.
Oh yeah.
And I thought about it being like there's like 100 days till. I thought, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's something else. But it was like a promotional image, and I was super struck by the fact that there was no BBC branding anywhere. There was Disney Plus branding, and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, boy,
and
weird."
I had kind of forgotten
Weird.
about that. I knew that they were switching over, but I had kind of forgotten.
I will resub to Disney Plus because
Oh,
I
yeah.
canceled him. I canceled him for trying to blow up the sun.
Quit it.
I will resub for Doctor Who and Loki season 2 starting again.
Yeah.
Ooh, Loki season 2 followed by some Doctor Who. That's it.
And
Disney does it.
Ahsoka, which will basically be the Mandalorian season 3.5, I bet.
Right.
Right. Because
Right.
I mean, every other Star Wars show is going to have the Mando and Grogu in it somehow, right?
Right.
I mean, if they
Really-
want actual money.
The only live action Star Wars show they've done that hasn't been a Mandalorian .5 season was
Andor, and that was
Andor.
great. Yeah,
And that was great on
too.
its own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy looked a lot like the Mandalorian to me.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did have
yeah,
that-
He
yeah.
has kind of a Pedro Pascal kind of look to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie,
Yes.
I bet there's something amazing going on in the world of science.
There's always something amazing going on in the world of science. It's so hard to pick, but I did narrow it down to one that I thought would be interesting to people. So I'm sure that everybody's heard about like the things where they take people's brainwaves and make them into pictures or sounds, or they move their like artificial arms and stuff. And if you haven't, then you should have, because it's been around and it's amazing and whatever. But there's another advancement that they did. U.S. researchers have been able to reconstruct a recognizable version, in air quotes, of the Pink Floyd song "Another Brick in the Wall" Part 1, based on the pulses of activity moving through a specific part of the volunteer's temporal lobe. So they played the song from the brain pulses.
Yeah.
Although, hold on,
Wouldn't that be trippy if it was just the album cover?
Yeah,
Like it just made the album cover, and they were just ahead of their time.
yeah, that'd be cool. But it says the tune was processed into a spectrogram form to be more compatible with the brain's audio processing techniques. But other than that, it was just raw brain stuff. And it's pretty impressive in terms of the fidelity that it achieved, even though it is still kind of muddy, and recognizable is being generous, I think. But you can tell that there's music going on. I wouldn't necessarily say you could say for sure what song it was, but maybe if it played more than like the 30 seconds or maybe less even that.
It's like 14 seconds or something.
Yeah, that they had in the article. But so during the study, they learned that the superior temporal gyrus, which is a part of the brain's auditory system and a fun series of words, is linked to our perception of rhythm and is especially important in terms of understanding music. So that was good for them to find out. The the recording was a fun project, but the study is an important step toward the goal of restoring the ability to talk for those that no longer can, using not just I wrote this myself, but I think it's nice. Using not just words, but the pitch, tone, and rhythm that communicate so much of what we say.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting, and like you said, recognizable is a little bit of a stretch because on its own, I don't know that I would have picked out the song.
Right.
But if you familiarize yourself with the song and then you go listen to the little clip, yeah, I mean, it's like they recorded the brainwaves and then they figured out how to decode it into the sound that people were listening to, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, if you familiarize yourself with the song and then go listen, you're like, oh yeah, no, that's totally it. Like I hear the melody and the almost voice. It's slightly creepy.
Mm-hmm. It is creepy a little bit,
yeah.
like kind of like when they decode dreams. I think that's weird and creepy too. But I just think the knowledge that they gain from it is more important because yeah, when not to like bash Stephen Hawking, he was a genius, he did amazing things, but talking with a little voice machine, I'm sure like sarcasm doesn't come across that well and things like that, we need to be able to hear the inflection to know what people really mean. And so working on this is going to help all the people. I mean, there's not that many. There's maybe like a dozen people right now, but that rely entirely on this for communication. The people with like locked-in syndrome, they can't move, they can't blink, they can't do anything. The only thing they can do is think. And now that they're hooked up to, these systems, they can still talk to their family. And I think it's an important thing to pursue.
Hey, unrelated, real quick. One more news story I wanted to throw out there, and it's super quick. Doctor Who series 1 through 4, that's New Who, series 1 through 4, to be remastered for new Blu-ray release. Because, yeah, those were pre-high def era. So they're...
This should be remastered for new streaming, because nobody uses physical media.
Well, when I rewatched it, I feel like they have some type of remasters already.
Oh.
So, because whatever's on HBO, or I guess it'd be on Disney Plus now, maybe? I don't know. Whatever was on HBO Max, looked good. You can tell it was scaled up, though, especially with the effects. Effects always suffer, like, when they're done in standard definition, and then especially TV budget effects, because old New Who definitely had a much lower budget than some of the more recent seasons. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. Cool. If you don't have that on high def on Blu-ray, that might be interesting to you. Plus, it kind of goes into it's very relevant right now with leading up to Dr. Donna return. Hey Jess, you got anything to mention before we bounce out of here?
Hey, you know what? I just picked up another Humble Bundle. I know that's shocking to everybody, but there's a tabletop role-playing game, Humble Bundle right now that is kind of it's like a low stress game, random charts kind of thing, and I think it would be super useful for really just about any system, where it's like, hey, you want to play in a cyberpunk world, here's a list of stuff you'd probably run into, so there's a lot of random charts and whatnot, and I believe it's still on Humble Bundle, so you could check that out. And you know what, if you go to grawlixpodcast.com/humble and you do it that way, you kick a little bit our way, and you get your games, you get your Grawlix support, and you even help out a charity or two.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I played Pathfinder 2nd Edition recently, and I didn't think I was going to like it. And I'm not totally in love with it, but I always play as a bard. And I kind of do like 2nd Edition Pathfinder's bards, because you have to choose like a muse. Like there's different muses that you can choose, so you can customize like what type of bard. So if you're like the type of bard who just wants to know a bunch of stuff, you can go that route. If you just want to be the guy that sings and inspires people to give them buffs, you can go that route. And if you want to go like the jack of all trades route and just be able to do a lot of weird stuff, you can go that route. And if you want to mix and match them, you can do that too. You just have to take an extra feat. So it was a lot of fun.
Cool. Hey, grawlixpodcast.com. Check you later.